Hey guys, Daniel here. So, yep, welcome to my round 6 coverage of the FIDE Candidates Tournament. So, I will start this video off by saying this will probably be my last individual recording of individual games of the FIDE Candidates Tournament. Really just because I do want to kind of diversify my channel and, just diversify, my videos, just add some new fresh content, hopefully it'll attract new viewers, but all that to say, probably at the end of the tournament, I will do just kind of an overall, recap of, the critical moments from, each round, which eventually determined the winner. And that would actually be if the tournament goes on, because there's, rumors that it might discontinue or be postponed because of the coronavirus, and I really do have mixed feelings about whether the tournament should be going on or not, but anyway, I'll probably just do a big recap video at the end of the tournament. It might be a 20, 30, maybe 40-minute video, but, I think it's all good, but anyway, so we're going to be focusing on this game. Krill Alekseenko was white against Anish Giri, black. So Anish Giri is infamous because he had 14 draws the last candidates tournament he played 4 years ago. And then this is his kind of return to the candidates tournament, and he lost the first game, but finally, finally in this round, he got a win. So, for Anish Giri, congratulations to him. First candidates win after 20 games. So let's give him a round of applause. So, this is, I'm actually going to give this to you as a puzzle. Krill Alekseenko is white, and this is white to move and draw. So black is up 2 pawns, but they're doubled pawns. So this is not going to be an easy win for black. So it's white to move and draw. So white played knight to d3, which is a blunder. I'm saying it's a blunder in quotation marks because I really wouldn't put, necessarily put expectations for, you or I'm basically not saying, this is a dumb blunder by Krill Alekseenko that you or I could have seen, I think the players were tired. This is move 89 and probably the last game going, of the round, so it's really understandable to just kind of slip up at some point. So, knight to d3 was a mistake and ended up costing him the game. So, white should have played. Now, there are actually 2 drawing variations. One of them is h5. You can look into that at home, but I think it would be a little bit more to calculate, but you essentially would just have to dodge the knight checks and then, just kind of use your h-pawn as a decoy. But I think the simpler drawing move is knight to h1. Now, if you don't take the pawn, you're not really making any progress. If you do take the pawn, then now you kind of have these, morsels you can kind of snack on. The pawns on f5 and f6, so king to f4, and the knight cannot defend the pawn f5. They can defend the pawn on f6, but after a move like king takes f5, it's pretty straightforward. If you need to, you can maneuver your knight to f2 to knight to e4, and then snatch the pawn, and it's going to be an easy draw. So, white just did not see all this, but again, they were, tired and all. I'm sure he was tired and everything, so white played knight to d3, and so we'll see how black makes progress with knight to d5 check, king to d4, knight to f4. So obviously a trade would be losing, because if you do that, you kind of keep an eye on the h4 pawn, as well as potentially queening your own, f-pawn. It's a good situation for black. So after knight to c5, king takes h4. Black is up 2 pawns, but still needs to show good technique in order to win. King to e3, king to g3, knight to b3, knight to e6. So, preparing to let the f-pawn go down the board. Knight to d2, pawn to f4 check, king to e2, knight to g5, king f1, f3. I mean, the end is nigh for white. King to g1, f2, king f1, pawn to f5, and this was actually where white resigned. I mean, white's already kind of in a zugzwang position anyway. If you move the knight, say you move knight to b3, then knight to f3 would come, and then like knight h2 followed by f1 queen is like pretty unstoppable. And then after pawn to f5, if you move the king, you can just kind of move the king to g2, and then if the knight moves, you make a queen, and if you play king to e3, you don't queen because I would take and then play king to f4 and get a draw, but you could actually play a nice move like knight to e4, which puts pressure on the knight, which is the only piece defending the queening square. So that's just kind of one example, and yeah, after pawn to f5, you know, white resigned, and yeah, so I think this would be a good game to kind of review because knight endgames can be tricky and really require some accurate technique. And then yeah, just this is just kind of a good puzzle you can just kind of take home, just or you know show your friends or whatever. Just knight to h1, and if the king takes, then you just run your king up and take a pawn, and it's going to be a draw. All right, well, I will still see you soon for another video. Just do let me know if you have any suggestions, and then once again, assuming this tournament does go on, I will still do kind of a recap at the very end. It may just be a long video, but yeah, other than that, just be safe, everyone, and I will see you all later. Just leave a like, comment, you know, subscribe. That would be really helpful. I do want to personally thank all my 34 subscribers. You know, it just means a lot to me for you to like enjoy my content and watch it on a consistent basis. So yeah, just have a good one, and I will see you guys soon. Take care, guys.